Hey, how are you? Good to see you guys. Hello, hello. Can everybody hear me okay? Good. Excellent. All right. Hello, Shania. Good to see you. Hello, hello, Karen. Hello, Stephanie. Good to see you. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining me, whether you're in the Facebook group or joining me through our private link. Glad that you're here. Today, we're going to talk about resolutions and why they suck. Yes, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We are at that stretch of time between the winter solstice and the new year. And this is kind of, for me, this is kind of my crunch time. This is my time where I really take a while to really reflect not only on the year I've grown, but it also, of course, makes me think, how am I going to show up in the next year? So whether you're trying to pretend that we're not moving into 2022 still, that's fine. Or if you're trying to get prepared for the new year and show up with confidence and a clear direction, either one of those is fine. But today, I want to talk to you a little bit about a process that helped me, and hopefully it will help you as well. So, I used to hate this time of year. I used to hate the new year because it made me reflect on all the crappy things that I wanted to change in my life. It made me think about how, I wanted to, like, how indulgent I had been over the holidays, or how I never actually finished that project that I wanted to do, or how I had promised myself, more me time and never did it. All of these things that were kind of seeped in negativity. And, so if you're there, I've been there with you. But then, it took a drastic shift for me about 12 years ago, where I really, really started to reflect on why I was struggling with following through on these things that I know I wanted. I felt like I wanted, and what had happened is I had recently recovered from substance abuse, and I was struggling with that for so long that when I had come through on the other side, I felt like, I did this major accomplishment and this is amazing. And now my life will be easy and everything's going to fall in place. And it definitely didn't. My struggles did not end. They seemed to just begin. And I felt like even after all of this work, my life hadn't drastically changed. I still was struggling with my weight. I was still struggling with overeating. I was still struggling with yo-yo dieting and workout fads and, everything else that I could get my hands on. And my mental health was in complete havoc. So I was a complete mess. And that time in my life, though, going through all that and being right there, what that helped me do and what that forced me to do was to look at my entire self and really stop blaming my situation, made me stop blaming other people. It made me stop making excuses as to why all of these things that I wanted to happen weren't falling into place, And so what I realized over time was that big changes long-term changes, the changes that you want to see when we come up with these resolutions, those are changes that come from small steps over a long time. They're changes that come from being consistent and showing up for yourself over and over and over, even when you really, really, really don't want to, because there's plenty of that. So after many broken resolutions and many years of disappointment, I finally figured out a process that works, and I realized what doesn't work at all. And so that's what I want to kind of go through today. I'm going to give you 5 things or 5 reasons that your resolutions are not working. And the first one is that you are not doing whatever it is you want to do for the right reasons. So you're not making this commitment because you see all of the positive outcomes that can come from it. Or maybe you see them, but you don't believe those positive outcomes, right? You don't actually believe that it's achievable. You want to believe that it's achievable, and you want to get there, but the steps from A to Z are very unclear. A lot of times when we make these resolutions up, we do it out of guilt, or we do it out of, like a way to punish ourselves. Weight is such a big one in the New Year's resolution world. I want to lose 35 pounds. I want to lose this. I don't want to be the way that I am. And that's coming in such a negative, from a negative place. It's coming in from these really harmful thoughts to you and to yourself. So you have to find acceptance there and accept where you are today. And when you go in to make a change, make it from a place of positivity and see that outcome, that positive outcome. This is how I'm going to feel. This is going to help my children. This is going to help other people. Whatever it is, you want to go into it with a positive outlook instead of getting sucked into that, like, I'm so terrible, I need to do this because I'm so bad. This is a really negative self-talk, a negative way to self-talk, and it happens to all of us. So make sure that you're going in and you're making these commitments for the right reason. Okay, number 1. Number 2, you are not super passionate about what you're doing, or you don't really have a big why as to why you are doing this, okay? So maybe you're like, oh, I'm going to start doing yoga in January because I've heard yoga is good for you. Awesome. I hope you do. Come take classes with me. But if you're not passionate about yoga, if you don't have a reason to show up every day, several times a week, what's going to happen is the very first time that you don't want to show up, that you're tired, you don't want to get up off the couch, you don't want to, try to busy the kids so you can find a free 30 minutes. The first time you run into a hurdle, you're going to ditch that commitment. You're going to forget about it because you didn't realize the value in it from the beginning. And so to create a resolution that you can really commit to and really make sense for you, you have to really, really be passionate about it and see the value in it. You have to understand why you want to do that. So maybe, okay, I want to do yoga because I've tried these fad workouts and they're too much. They don't work for me. I need something that gently challenges me, but I can still get strong and fit from. Okay, that makes more sense, right? So think about that. Find your reason why, whatever that is for you, whatever your resolution is. Okay, that was 2. Number 3. This is a big one. This was me like every single year. Your resolutions are too vague. I want to travel more. I want to start exercising. Even I want to start yoga in January. Those are all very, very vague. Because what happens is when we go to actually do it, and January 1st comes and we're like, oh, well, what kind of exercise am I going to do? What kind of yoga classes am I going to take? Where do I find those? You know, um, or if you've ever tried doing a cleanse, we're going to be doing a cleanse in the boot camp program coming up, and it's calling it a countdown to clean. So you're counting down to, it's almost like going slowly into like a Whole30 or maybe a paleo type diet. But if you've ever come into, if you came into like on January 2nd, I'm going to start Whole30, and you turn to your cupboards and you don't have any of the foods, or have no idea what you're going to do for meals that day, it's setting you up for failure. There's a lot of planning that goes involved in it. So when you go in with vague resolutions, when you're not clear about them, that can be really, really tricky. All right, that was number 3. Number 4, this is the other one I did all the time. This is like, I have terrible FOMO. So number 4, your resolutions are way too unrealistic or way too extreme. This would also be, I'm going to start running and I'm going to run a marathon by March. Yeah, probably not. That's probably not going to happen. And if you do make it happen, you've probably hurt your body and put yourself in a really bad place. Okay. So it's great to be excited about this. If you're excited about your resolutions, that means that you're passionate about them. That means that you have your why, in check. But if you are going in and you're pushing yourself to this extreme, you can actually do more damage than if you went in slowly and steadily. It's kind of like the rabbit and the hare. You can go into an extreme challenge and work your ass off for a couple days and then burn yourself out and not be able to do anything for several weeks until you recover. And that gives you a few days of, pain, versus doing a little bit over time, consistently, which would give you results. Create habits, create routines, which are so, so important when it comes to sticking to resolutions. So be careful of unrealistic or extreme goals. All right, so the last one that I want to talk about is also a big one, and it's kind of a no-brainer, but it's one that we often skip. And the 5th reason that it's likely your resolutions aren't working is because you don't have the support that you need. So if you've ever done something with a friend, hey, let's start walking together. It's way easier, way better to show up. It gives you some accountability so that you aren't just relying on yourself and whatever motivation you're feeling that day. Maybe you've wanted to do something for a while. Sometimes, signing up for a class or enrolling in a program, that can be that piece of accountability that keeps you on track. Because there are going to be some days, as I said before, that you're just not going to want to do it. We're all like that. It's not you. It's not like you're, lazy or unmotivated because you wake up one day and you don't want to do X, Y, or Z. We are all like that. Every day is different. We have peaks and valleys throughout our day, throughout our week. And so it's unfair to expect yourself to be on 24/7 all the time. It just, it's unrealistic. So if you can have the support, phone a friend, find a class that you can go to, find a program that you can enroll in. That's the other reason I'm doing the boot camp program in January. Not only do I know, and I've heard from many of you that this would really help you, and you've asked me if I would do something like this. It helps me too. I feed off of your energy. It's a symbiotic relationship. So find the support that you need to make your goals happen. All right, so let's recap here. The reason number one why your resolutions are not working, you're not doing it for the right reasons. You're trying to guilt yourself into something or punish yourself, and you don't have your priorities straight yet. So get rid of that negative self-talk and look at the positive reasons. You are beautiful, you're amazing, and you can do this, okay? I got lots of affirmations if you need them. Number two, you're not passionate about the change you want, or you don't know why you're making that change. So you think, oh, maybe it would be good for me to do this. I feel stuck. I feel like I'm in a rut. I need to get out of that rut. Maybe this would help me get out of that rut. You really got to find that piece inside of you. Find the reason that is moving you forward. Because like I said, you're going to have those down days. You're going to hit a hurdle. You're going to feel like, ugh, this sucks. Why did I ever sign up for this? And you're going to have to dig deep and say, okay, this is why. This is why I'm doing that. Whatever that reason is for you. And you know what? It doesn't matter. As long as you are passionate about that reason, it's a good enough reason. Okay. Number three, your resolutions are too vague. You need to get really, really specific with your goals. If you've ever gone through a SMART goal exercise, that's how I approach it. And if you're interested in that, I have some other stuff on how to create measurable, specific goals, and we can talk about that later. But your goals have to be very, very specific. You have to have a plan going into this, or it can fall flat. Number four, your resolutions were too unrealistic or too extreme. You have a serious case of FOMO, and you need to tone it down, because you can still be awesome. You can still be a badass without doing everything in the entire world as extreme as possible. Okay, you don't want to burn yourself out. Come back to those small, consistent steps over time. You want to make a routine. You want to make a habit of doing this, because we don't want it to just last a month or two. We don't want to just, start something and then, oh, this was nice. I got into, I started exercising, and now I'm going to stop and I'm not going to do it ever again. That's not what you want. You want to make a change. You want to make a lifestyle change. And I'm going to come back to this lifestyle change. The fifth reason is you don't have the support you need. Find a friend, find a class, find a program. You can ask me questions about the boot camp program if you're interested, and I'll tell you more about that. When you are trying to make a change, you have to approach it as a lifestyle change, because that's what you want. You need to break this cycle, whatever it is for you. You need to break out of that, and you need to create a new life, a new cycle, a new way of approaching it. You're still you. You're not creating a new you. You are you. You've always been you, and you're awesome and amazing and beautiful. You don't need to change you. You just need to get into a good routine, okay? And that's really how you have to think about it, which is why I don't actually like the word resolution at all. And instead of thinking about this as a New Year's resolution, I really, really encourage you to think about this as an intention, as a focus. And, don't make it like, oh, it's a focus for January, or it's a focus for, the first 3 months or whatever. I set an intention for the entire year. For my entire year, I set an intention and overall focus, the general theme, if you will, that I want to think about throughout the year. And the reason I do that is because I'm usually not organized enough to stick to a really, really specific plan. I make very specific plans, but I don't always stick to them exactly. And so when I have my off days, what I need like a single word: positivity. I need a single phrase: be present, generate abundance. I need something that I can repeat to myself as a mantra every single day. something that I can put on sticky notes on my computer screen, put on sticky notes on the bathroom mirror. I need just a single word that I can think about that sums up what I want out of my life, the change that I want to see. And so when you're going into 2022, I really encourage you to do that. First, reflect on the amazing things you've done. I guarantee you've done some amazing things. And then second, try to identify this theme. Try to identify what sums up the thing you need in your life, the change that you need. What do you need to see? Something will come to you, even if it's not coming to you right now. I really encourage you to think about this over the next few days and sit with this and see if the universe reveals what your focus should be. If you're on my email list, I talked a bit about manifestation. This is kind of a woo-woo thing, but I am a firm believer in it. It's, totally changed my life. I would not be where I am today. I would not have the things I have today. I would not be in the relationships I am today had I not gone through this process, and had I not believed that something out there was there to help me, was there to support me. And so I really believe in this stuff. And even if you don't, I encourage you to try it. All right, so I hope you all have a wonderful week. I know that this week can also be a little bit of a tricky one. I hope that this was helpful for you. And I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear if you have a word or an intention that you've been thinking about already. I know I was talking with one of my students, and they were saying that their word is balance. So if you could share your intention, the focus that you believe you might need for 2022 in the comments below, that would be amazing. There's something magical about putting your intention out there to the universe, because I guarantee you the universe will show up. As Gabby Bernstein says, the universe has your back. All right. All right, everyone. I hope you have a beautiful evening, and I will see you soon. Thanks so much for joining me. Good to see you all. Bye.